Hi, and thank you for joining our Intro to Boom Learning webinar. My name is Tu, and I work in the customer support and sales departments here at Boom. We might wait for just a little longer for folks to arrive. In the meantime, we're just so excited by the overwhelming interest in this webinar. So for those who registered but can't join on Zoom, we apologize. But we are live streaming this webinar on Facebook. So you got an invitation to that Facebook page. And if you click on it in your reminder, you'll be able to go to the Facebook page there. Oh, wow. Hi, folks. Folks from Michigan. I see Illinois. Awesome. New York City. Croatia. Oh my gosh, New Jersey. That's awesome. Keep them coming. Anyway, so again, if you aren't allowed to join on Zoom, please join us for a live stream on Facebook. We are recording this webinar, and we're going to share the recording with you, and we're going to post it on our YouTube channel. So if you click on the chat box below, you're going to see a link to our YouTube channel. Just a couple housekeeping issues here. If you have questions, please post them in the Q&A box. There's going to be a live Q&A session after the webinar. And as you can already see, if you've got some comments, please feel free to post them in the comment box. So after the webinar, we're going to ask you to fill up our webinar feedback survey. And I'll post that in the chat later. But we really value your opinion. So if you could fill that out, that would greatly help us improve how we serve our customers. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kyle, and he's going to show you how to get up and running with Boom.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. I am a Boom Learning customer support agent. And today I'm going to cover as much of the Boom Learning platform as I can. Hopefully you can see my screen share, and I am on the boomlearning.com homepage. Boom Learning is a digital platform where educators can create and assign interactive self-grading learning activities to their students. And then they can see their students' performance and progress reports, which are created automatically from their play. I would like to get to know everyone a little bit better. So I'm going to launch a little poll in the Zoom screen, which you can fill out if you want. You don't have to, but it just helped me know where everyone is starting to get a better idea of what this webinar can do. I am on the Boom Learning homepage, and if you haven't made a Boom Learning account yet, you can click this little sign in button up here, and then you can click join for free, which is kind of hiding there, and then click I'm a teacher. You can choose your existing email address, or you can sign up with Google or Microsoft or Clever. I already have a Boom Learning account, so I'm going to go back, click I'm a teacher, and then I'm going to sign in with Google. Signing up is easy, it's free, and all you really need is your email address and a password that you pick. If you just created a new account, you should see a couple little check boxes for our terms of service and our privacy policy, which if you check those, it will put you in the classes page. But before we look at classes, we're going to click this little logo in the upper left, go back to the home page and scroll down. And here you can choose a membership upgrade, and I recommend Starter. Starter is free, and what this will do is give you access to your library. It will let you download, well, not really download, but add pre-made teaching materials from the Boom store to your account and start creating up to 5 student accounts, and you can make up to 5 of your own personalized teaching activities called Boom Cards. I'm going to scroll back to the top now and let you sign up for Starter. It's really easy. And then we're going to go and we're going to look straight at the Classes tab. In the Classes page, you can set your teacher avatar, your picture of yourself, and I just used myself. If you set up a new account, you may see the word None. If you click on that, you can choose your teacher nickname. So what your students see you as when they sign in. And you just click right on it and type whatever you want and click away or hit enter and it will save it for you. What are classrooms? How are student accounts saved? Well, as you can see here, I already have one in my list, a student account, and I have some students set up, but you can create a new account just by clicking new classroom. And then right here, you can click, oops, oh my gosh, so many typos. Intro to Boom Learning, and that's how you can set the name of your classroom that you created. Up here, you can see that the classroom is set to private by default and it's locked, meaning the students don't see one another when they sign in, and only the teacher can change the details of that student account or the student accounts in it. Down here, you can see a couple buttons. A new student will let me create a new student. Well, let's say the nickname is actually here. Webinar is the password. And if you create this student, you can see it gave them the nickname that I set and also a username that they would use to sign in with. And of course, you can click directly on that and change it to something a little easier for them if they need to sign in that way. You can add lots of students at once. Let's say I wanted to add a couple of other students and set a password for them. You can see here that it will create lots at one time for you so that you can set up your students more quickly. Up here, this is one of my favorite features, is if you click set passwords, you can reset the password for everyone in the classroom at the same time, but there's a little feature here where you can set it to a picture password for them by checking this little box. It will require that you reset the password for everyone at once. And what I'm going to do is make the password a cat and a dog. So I need them to click the cat and the dog in order to sign into their student accounts. Down here, you can also import student rosters from Google, Microsoft, and Clever. So if you have student rosters set up with these, you can import them, and that provides a single sign-in solution for your students. We also provide one called Colleagues, which if you click this, and then you click this Add Colleagues button, you can type in the email address for a fellow teacher account and send them a request to become a colleague with them. And this will allow you, once they accept this invitation, they'll have to sign in and see that you requested to become their colleague. Once they accept it, back in this Classes tab, and if you view one of your classes, you'll see a new button here where you can actually share this classroom to that other educator, and then they can assign things in their library to your students. So this is a good way to become colleagues and start collaborating. You also need to become a colleague with someone if you want to share activities that you're making yourself with them. So say you're building some boom cards for your students. If you want to put it in their library, you can share it to them by becoming a colleague with them. What do I mean by building boom cards? What is happening with this? Well, if we go to the store page, we can see that boom cards are personalized. They're to help personalize your learning experience for your classroom. So the Boom Learning store has a very wide variety of learning activities, and you can address each of your students' needs with them. They are made by teachers just like you. They are sold for points, which translate into dollars. So they earn supplemental income from creating educational materials that help provide differentiation and scaffolding that you can implement into your teaching strategy. So how do we use this page to actually find teaching material? Well, you can buy points with dollars and buy teaching materials from the teachers. You can see here, this one's 250 points. So that's about $2.50 approximately. But I'm going to show you mostly about how to find free material. So if we click this little Find Free button, it will sort everything in the Boom store with pre-made activities, decks, which you can see is selected here, by price low to high, meaning anything that's the lowest price, that is 0 points, it's free. You can just add these directly to your library whenever you'd like. You can also search images, which don't go to the library. They go into your studio so that you can make boom cards with them. But images are like clip art. So as you can see, I'm sorting by price low to high here, and I can actually search for little pieces of clip art that will go directly into my studio, and I can start making boom cards with them. Fonts as well work. I'm going to search for a deck that I really like called Counting Frogs. And as you can see, it sorts by relevance. So I need to find those free items again. So sort by price, low to high. And here is the deck I want to add. If you click on it, you can see more information about the material. You can look at a preview of it. You can click reviews to see what other teachers have said about this deck. What I'm going to do is just add it to my library. You can add it to your cart, which kind of saves it for later, or your wish list, which is the same thing. But I'm just going to add it directly to my library, just like this. And it's already there. So what is the library? I actually skipped over this. And we're going to go look at the library now. This is where all of your teaching materials will go. This is where, as you collect things to teach and assign to your students and collect report data on, will go here. And you can sort through your boom cards by purchased and self-published. These are the two I think you'll start with by default. So anything you get from the boom store, even if it's free, will go into your purchase tab, your folder rather, and anything that you create yourself will go into self-published once you privately publish it. We're going to click on the little action button of the frogs counting game that we just got, and I'm going to just assign it really quickly. I'm going to assign it to this first classroom that I had set up by checking this little box. And as you can see, I have two classrooms because I had one set up in advance and then I made a new one. But I just want to assign the Counting Frogs game to that one classroom. So let's go confirm that it's assigned. We go back to Classroom and click Boom Learning 101. And you can see in the Assignments tab in the middle with the little one here that we have the Counting Frogs game here. So what does it look like for the student who actually now has something to play that's been assigned to them? Well, I'm going to quickly change my screen and share a different screen of a new browser, which you can do this too. You can open a private browser sometimes. I think Chrome has it, where you can test what your students will see after you assign it. So we're going to click sign in like before, but this time click I'm a student, sign in with Boom. And one of the passwords, one of the users here, if I sign in, we'll need the picture password, remember, because I set the dog and the cat and click, let me double check my student accounts and make sure the passwords are set properly. I'm going to reset the other password to be a cat and a dog really quick. And teachers, you will maybe have to do this for your students on occasion for security. Resetting passwords is sometimes necessary, but very important. You can see here, I've signed into Jorge, this account, and they have already played this boom card. So I'm going to actually sign out again, and I'm going to test a different student. Let's try 2, which I just created. Sign in. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. Okay. My apologies. Sometimes we have a little technical difficulties. 2_3, the picture password. And there we go. Now we're in 2's new account, and we're going to have to assign this deck to that new account as well. So I'm going to assign it to them, and then I'm going to refresh the student's view. And now we can see what they're supposed to see, finally, the assigned Counting Frogs activity. And all they have to do now when they're signed in is click on this activity and they can start playing it right away. It looks like this is a game about counting frogs. and I'm going to do my best to answer these accurately, but I should get a couple of them wrong to illustrate what the student reports look like at the end when the deck is completed. Oops. Students can play boom cards repeatedly, and some boom card decks are designed to only show a small portion of the cards that are in the whole deck, so they can gain mastery of it over time by playing it and discovering all the cards that are in there. When they complete the deck, you can see they're given some little rewards. This little gem here means how many they got right in the whole deck. And if we go back home to their student homepage, that is, you can see immediate feedback on their results. So this green circle means they did all of the cards in the deck, all 10 of them, and they got 8 out of 10 of those cards correct. If they click it again, we can just play the deck again. And I'm going to do this intentionally, play it again, so that we can see how the reports view looks for your teaching account once they complete the activity. Ding. And one more. All right. So you can see their mastery has improved. They got one right that they must have missed on the last playthrough. Okay, I'm going to go back to the teaching account view again and share my screen because we're going to look at the reports tab and what the reports actually look like. So if I click on the reports tab and click right here, because I have some notifications, you can see that I have some results here, but this is the wrong classroom. So let's tab over to the new classroom we created at the top here. And now we can view two's results. This is one of my favorite features, and it may be a little confusing to look at right now, but I think the best way to view these reports is just to click directly on this little wheel, and then you can get a comprehensive report of how they played the card. So you can see they played it twice, and here's a general understanding of the time and date and their percentage, how well they did. Down here is an accuracy map. So if you want to know where the student was having some trouble, you can just click on the red cell in that report, and it will show you the card and what they got wrong and how. And then over time, the reports go up, so you can see. Sorry, it's the other way around. The new reports are sorted to the bottom, and it kind of stacks up like this. So the newest ones are here, and you can see if they improve by how many turn green, I suppose. But you can also intervene. You can also create an intervention strategy with this because you do get immediate feedback. You also can see here their average response time on each card. So which ones does it take a long time for them to actually submit an answer for? And I think this tool is very useful. You can also find reports from the library. So if you click on the library tab and then in this little action button, there's a whole lot of other things here, but if you scroll down to view reports, you can actually get more reports on the deck itself over all of your classrooms. So you can see reports by card, how many get the same kind of card incorrect. So some cards are harder to complete than others, or they're just more challenging. So you'll see some trends, but this is a good way to find out if the deck or the activity that you got from the boom stores is effective, if it's actually having some value. Also in reports, if we click on this, and up here you can export them, which just basically pastes it into an Excel document for you that you can view for your records and keep. So making boom cards, I have a little bit of extra time. So I'm going to go into the Studio tab now, which is different from your classes. It's completely different. This is where authors are made. This is where You can start to create your own personalized learning experience for your classrooms, and creating and sharing with each other too. So if you're working on a boom card deck and you become a colleague with someone, you can make a copy of your deck and send that copy to them, and they can work on it. You can set your brand logo. This is more where your store logo would go up here, not really your avatar. And then your store name or your pen name, your author name would go right here. You can write a biography, and then down here you can see your sales, your transaction histories, referrals, if people refer you, and feedback is very good for finding typos. If you're making boom cards, you may make some typos on occasion. I don't have time to go over every little detail of the deck editor, but this is what the Make Decks editor looks like, and you can see I'm building some boom cards here. Boom cards have all kinds of questions and types of challenges you can put in them. You can build them with flow magic, which causes them to go down a specific branching path, like an escape room or a puzzle. You can make multiple choice, and the multiple choice position where the correct answer will be will actually shuffle every time the student plays the card. So the triangle in this example may not really be in the upper right corner every time. It's going to move around. You can put your clip art in. You can include sound. If you upgrade to Power Plus or Ultimate membership, you can upload sounds of your voice, presumably reading instructions for boom cards, which is very, very useful. And then the student, all they have to do is click the little sound icon to hear the sound, or click the picture that you embed the sound in. There are fill in the blank questions, so having them type their answer, human scoring, where you can actually look at their results. One of my favorites is drag and drop, which is touchscreen sensitive, so you can click on shapes and move them around. If I preview this card I'm working on, you can see you can kind of move some shapes around and follow the instructions and complete the little question. And you can see I have lots of different examples here. And one of our Boom Learning support agents named Johnny built a really fun life skills deck about sorting laundry and colors into the correct baskets. And she made a great example of how you can use text widgets and set different elements on the page to correct or incorrect or fill in the blank. You can use captions. You can use on-screen keyboards. There's lots of ways to build boom cards and make them fun and interesting and new and exciting for your classrooms. There's one more little thing before I start a live Q&A, and I know I'm going over a little, but I will stay, don't worry, and answer some of the questions in the chat. But over here in settings, you can use your settings window to update your email address, to change your password, to look at memberships, change your address. You can follow the authoring group on Facebook. That's a really good place to get advice on making boom cards, because there's a lot of experience there and a lot of good creative ideas that you can get from there. Now, down here is privacy policy and our terms of service, but also the help center, which is a very good place to go if you want to contact us and talk to us directly. If you scroll down here, you can write us an email with a subject, and if you leave little tags on it about what the message is about, it's much easier for us to sort it. So think it's a big mail desk, lots of mail comes in, and when we see what it is, it's really easy to send it to the right person. Another thing that's really great is if you click search articles and then type schedule a call, there is a guide here from our help center about booking a call with us. So you can have us reach out to you on your time, and we can share our screen too if you want to schedule a Zoom meeting to go over things really quickly and help you solve concerns that you have with getting set up, or any number of things. Anything you would like help with, please let us know, and we'll reach out to you. All right, that about covers my presentation period, and we have time to look at some Q&A questions that came in that are probably more common than others. and I will share my screen and hopefully cover those questions.
Okay. Hi, Kyle. There's so many Q&A questions coming in. I'm going to try and we're trying to answer them while you're doing this webinar. So I might miss some good ones, but I'm going to go through some of the ones we've answered and read them to you so you can answer for the entire group. I know that a lot of the comments saying, I'm new to this. This is going really fast. I'm already lost. We apologize. We're going to send you a recording of this so you can kind of watch that, sit with your computer and kind of go side by side. We wanted to share a lot of information with you in a very short amount of time. And I'm sorry if it was a little overwhelming, but you can also check out our help center, like Kyle said, and email us at help@boominglearning.com for more specific attention to your question. So, okay, let's go through some of the questions that have been submitted and see. Let's go to this. This is an interesting one. Cynthia asked, is there a way to create a test that uses boom cards? For example, I want to assess my students' learning skills for rhythms. I don't want them to see if they picked the correct or incorrect answer. That's a hard one.
I think it's possible to do that if you go to your library and click Actions, and then this Custom Play Settings button here. Some decks, I believe, allow you to, let me see if I can find one. This is very author dependent. If you're building a boom card deck, you can set lots of conditions on how it's played by default. I wonder if I check one of my own, if I do custom play settings. Yeah, unfortunately, there's only a way to turn off if they surrender, but not if they click the, I hope I'm understanding the question right. She doesn't want them to see what the correct answer is just because they get it wrong. That's, I think the boom card basically lets you guess as many times as it takes to find the correct answer. And if you do what I've done on my screen with custom play settings and then they surrender, they won't see the correct answer. But if this is checked on and you assign it, they actually can surrender and get the right answer that way. And that's not the best answer, but that's how it works right now, unfortunately.
Cynthia, I think we're going to look into your question more and we're going to
Yes.
get back to you. So I have your email. So expect an email from us.
I see another
here's
one.
another one.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to do it or do you want to, Kyle?
You can do it. I
Okay.
just can read them now.
Danielle says, will there ever be a feature to sort your library into your own folders?
Yes, if you're building your Boom library, you can actually create folders. Like if you see this language, science, Spanish, I actually made those myself. If you click new folder, you can create folders for anything you want. And then if you're up in your purchased folder, you can just click down and drag and you can see the cursor changes and drag it over to that folder. It won't leave the purchased folder. I can actually demonstrate. It will just kind of create a copy shortcut link to it, if that makes sense. So you can quickly look through your activities that you've gotten by how you've organized them in the folders like this. And you can collapse the folders up and down with the little arrow here. So in case you don't see them all, you can just use that to find them. And that's how you organize your library. Personally organize it.
Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Can you print out a report of accuracy for students from Brenda Klauser? I believe you can do this. If you go to the classes page and click on on the classroom itself and by student and click this arrow, you can get reports by that student and you can view them. But for an entire classroom, you would still go to to the reports page here and then select the classroom and the deck. You know what? You can. You have to switch to the older reports view. So this little hidden thing up here when you're in the reports tab will switch to our older view of Boom Card's reporting feature, and you can sort by the classroom here and then by each deck. So I can actually I can click and highlight all of them, and then if you click export, that should give you the whole classroom, all of the decks in the classroom, that data to an Excel sheet. It would be difficult for me to illustrate it here because I don't have a good Excel for Zoom, but this export button, if you click it, it will let you save a CSV file, which is something you can view in Google Sheets or Excel.
Kyle, Sheila Marie asked us, please tell us more about the Fast Play feature.
Oh, okay. Fast Play is really fun and easy. If you go back to your library and I'm going to use the Counting Frogs again because it's my favorite. You click Action and then you click Fast Pin. It's not assigning because they're not going to collect data. This won't give you reports, but the student doesn't have to sign in either. So by clicking this Generate Pin button, you can get a link to play these Boom Cards that you can put anywhere. I'm just going to make a new tab and paste the link in here. And then if you're using Zoom or Microsoft Teams, you can actually share your screen the same way I'm doing right now with you, with your students, and give them control through Zoom or Microsoft Teams. I think have screen sharing control with certain devices. So if you're both using a PC, it won't work if you're using a mouse and they're using a touchpad. That for sure won't work. But you can actually let them play fast plays with you in a sense by sharing your screen and just going to a fast play link. And you can review the fast pin whenever you want, and it expires in 15 days, but you can regenerate a new pin anytime after 24 hours, I think. You'll have to send them the new pin, but you can just regenerate them and keep using them that way if you'd like. And that's Fast Play in a nutshell. It's really quite useful, I think.
Lisa asked a really great question. How do you buy points? I never figured that out. And also, a lot of our folks are like, can you review how to find free Boom Cards?
Yeah. So the store page is where all of this will happen. And at the top, you can see bundles of points based on a scale. So you get better value for points the more you buy. After 10,000, I think there's a 2% discount on a one-to-one with a penny. So if the Boom Learning points are worth about a penny approximately, and you can get them up here, you'll have to pay with Stripe, or if your school is buying, they can contact our sales department, sales@boomlearning.com, and we can help them buy bulk points that are distributed to teaching accounts. And that's pretty common for us. But finding free items is really easy. You can either click this Find Free button here, which is right next to the points, or what I do is I just go to what I want. Do I want clip art or fonts or a deck? And then I sort by, I kind of need science, speech therapy is useful, special education, and then search my grades down here. Let's say pre-kindergarten through third grade. And then up here, I will click on this little sort by drop down and switch low to high. And what that does is it just puts everything that's the lowest price at the very top, which is anything that's 0 points, which are free. And then you can click on any of them and go to their sale page and just add them directly to your library by clicking this green button. And then in the library, they will be considered purchased, even though you didn't really buy them. For other items that aren't free, let's try just looking for newest first and see what we can get. You will have to add, let's try idioms, figurative language. You'll have to add these to your cart. So if you click this add to cart button here, as opposed to buy now, what will happen is it will go into your little shopping cart in the upper right corner, and then you'll first have to turn dollars into points and then points into the activity. So anytime you purchase anything from the Boom store, that's what will happen unless you already have points in your balance. And you can see I have some points here, although these are actually not real. They're just test points for testing and troubleshooting.
A couple of our viewers are asking, how do you import a Google Classroom?
Sure. In your classes page, it might be actually difficult for me to show you this, but if you're familiar with Google Sign-In, what happens if you click this is another window pops up that says, here's your Google sign-in, choose your Gmail account. And what you're going to want to do is sign in to your Gmail account that has your Google Classroom student roster. And make sure that all the students that have been invited to that Google Classroom roster have clicked the join link in the email they got. So some students in the list may be like gray or hard to see. It's because they haven't joined yet. Once everyone's joined in the Google Classroom roster, you can connect through this import from Google, sign in the little pop-up, and then pick the roster classroom, and it will just create a new right here. I'm kind of clicking on the ones I made in Boom, but it will create a new one of these with a little Google logo on it. And those students, when they sign in, I can actually show you what it will look like by going back to my student view really quick. I'm going to sign out of the To account. And when the student goes to sign in, I'm a student, they would click sign in with Google instead, use their Google credentials to access the account. And this is very, very good for single sign-in for students, because I believe more than one educator can share that Gmail student roster. You can both then import the same roster. You can both assign your personal materials from your library to those students, and they don't know the difference. They sign in with the same credentials through Google both times. And this would also be the case if you used colleagues inside of the Boom Learning platform. If you become a colleague with them, the students see it as a single sign-in, but they can see everyone's assignments too, anyone that's sharing them. We have some videos of how to set up Google and a written guide. It's pretty easy. Once you get to the Boom Learning side, you really just click that Google import button, sign into your Google account that is tied to those student rosters, and import them. It's actually one of my favorite features. So, what
Okay.
else?
Well, let's see. We've got some folks who have raised their hands. Let's see what they'd like to comment on. I'm Holly. I'm gonna allow you to activate your mic.
I was just wondering if he could like start a new set of cards. I guess I'm a visual learner, and I saw some other people were asking that too. Just like, how do you start making your own cards?
Yeah, I can get into it a little bit, but we're actually going to host future webinars that get into deck making in much more detail, because this is the hard work part. Boom cards are kind of like making PowerPoint presentations in a sense. If you're following along with me and you're signed in and you go to your studio tab on my screen share here and scroll down and click make decks, you won't see all of this at first. You'll have to click this new deck button. And then just like with PowerPoint, you have a template card. And if I click and drag the little image widget, I just sort of clicked and dragged it on there, I can get a picture. I can make it a correct or an incorrect answer, and you can see this is the wrong one because it's red. Well, what if I want them to click the yellow flower? So I'll drag a yellow one on there. And as you can see, when I drag images, all of the images that I've added from the Boom store, these are from other presentations mostly, is all this art. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get this, it starts building up. You can add those right away to the Boom card. And then if I preview this, click the yellow flower. That's it. It created a challenge. Now they're not going to know which one to click, so I have to put text in here to explain it, and then maybe a sound file. I'm going to click sound and then upload one of my recordings of my voice that would emulate what the text says, like click or tap on the yellow flower, and then I would record myself, upload that sound, and put it in this little voice box. If I want to add new cards, you can see, since I built all this on the template card, it's going to create duplicates of it. But this is what's useful for that, is that I can get rid of
I'm
these.
gonna have to stop
Yeah,
Kyle there.
I don't
I'm
want to get
sorry.
too far into the
We
weeds,
can go
but
down, we can go down a
Yeah.
rabbit hole here. And that's why we're going to create another webinar solely dedicated to how to create boom cards. So stay tuned for more information on that. We're getting our schedule of webinars put together and we will share them with all of you.
yeah, we have
Okay.
Boom Learning support that really know how to teach how to make cards like this a little better than even me. And I've been doing it for a while, and it'll take time. So in the future, we will have webinars based around authoring, making decks, and we have other plans too to help you really build your own libraries and personalize your learning.
I'm going to let Allison, who had her hand raised. I apologize to all the folks who have their hands raised. We just don't have enough time to cover that. But let's see. Oh, Allison dropped off. I'll go to Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. Are you still there? Maybe not. Okay. How about Rachel? One more.
Hi, I accidentally raised my hand. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Do you want to say anything or?
I just would like a refresher. I know it takes a lot of time to teach how to do this from the beginning, but if it could just go from step to step to step, demonstrating building an account from the very beginning. Is there perhaps a video? I taught myself watching a lot of YouTube, things you had on YouTube. Is there something that would take it step by step for people really slowly?
We're going to share this video with everybody here, and we're going to post it on our YouTube channel. And there's also a lot of FAQs and a lot of smaller YouTube videos that are really more specific to what you're asking about that we're going to be posting. So it's going to take you absolutely step by step, slowly. You know, where do you go to start a new one? Which membership do you want? How do you enter like a picture of yourself and maybe the name that your students want to see? It'll take you step by step through that entire process. So
I do want to comment that I've enjoyed using the cards with my students. I have used it some and it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. So I'll direct you to it. Put a link in our chat box to our YouTube channel. We're going to be building upon that more and more very targeted videos for your specific questions. So check that out. All right. I apologize, we ran out of time. I know there's so many people who attend and who have questions, and I'm so grateful for all of you for taking time out of your day to join us. If, like I said, we were going to share this recording with you, we'll send it in the follow-up email. If you registered on Boom, you'll get that recording sent to you. It's also going to be posted on our YouTube channel. So you will be able to find it there as well. Hang on a second. I'm going to show you where you can get some more information if you have more questions. A second. There we go. Now, your opinion matters greatly to us. So if you could answer the webinar feedback survey, which I'm going to post in the chat right now. That's going to help us figure out how we can improve our products and our services. So your opinion does matter. We do take it to heart. And so please do fill that out. And again, we're going to post a recording of this video, and we hope we were able to teach you kind of the basics of how to get up and running with Boom Learning. So we're going to host more webinars on different topics, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see you in the next webinar. So in the meantime, happy booming. Thanks, everybody. Bye.